So I wanted to do a video on EFT tapping because I think it's really, really important, and it's something that I'm trying to incorporate into my daily routine now after reading You Have the Magic by Hayley Hoffman Smith. And I kind of want to talk to you about the different ways that you can use EFT tapping and kind of show you briefly how you use EFT tapping. So basically, EFT tapping can be used when you want to rewire your subconscious. So you could go back to an emotion, back to a memory that evokes a kind of intense emotion like fear or anger, something that might be deep rooted in an old memory. And then you can EFT tap to kind of rewire it and then create new beliefs. So you kind of talk your way as you EFT tap through the old belief and create the new belief. And then you could do rounds of EFT tapping to kind of consolidate in your subconscious that old belief, that old emotion isn't there anymore. And you can kind of rewire it to a new one. So for example, if you felt angry because you were left out in the playground, you could EFT tap and say, I did feel those emotions. I'm now choosing to reinvigorate this memory with a feeling of kind of calmness and happiness. Hayley Hoffman Smith talks about the idea of pattern interruption as well, which is really important with EFT tapping for effectiveness. But I'll talk about that in a little moment when I show you EFT tapping. But then the second way you can use EFT tapping is if something is triggering you. For example, you're really stressed about an exam coming up and you feel that emotion, or you can incorporate it into a daily morning or nighttime routine. It's basically just nervous system regulation work. So if you're becoming really dysregulated, you can just use it as a really quick tool to try and bring your emotions level, your nervous system regulated. If you're emotionally dysregulated, basically just coming back into regulation. So those are two ways that you can use it, one for more deeper rewiring work and one just for kind of regulation. So I'm going to show you what EFT tapping is. Now, the most effective way to do EFT tapping is with affirmations. So I'm just going to take my glasses off to kind of show you the points. So you kind of go through the EFT tapping at the time and the rounds, as many as you want. It's all tailored to how you want to do it. But you have an affirmation usually with the EFT tap. So one of the points is at the start of the eyebrow. So you can do it, you can decide to do both points. You could do 2 fingers, you can do 1 finger, it's whatever you want to do. And then you just tap on that area. So you can do anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute, however you feel, but it's great to incorporate with it an affirmation. Sometimes people who want to EFT tap want to start with the negative emotion. So they might say, oh, I feel so stressed right now. I feel so stressed right now. And then you move on to the temples, so the side here. And you can say, oh, I hate when I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I'm out of control. I hate when I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I'm out of control. And then you go to under the eyes. But I am safe. I am safe. So you're kind of then changing that. So you kind of go through the first 2 points as kind of experiencing the emotion, and then you're training your brain, I'm safe. And then you have a point here, at just the top of the lip under the nose. So you could start rewiring, I am capable. I am capable. And you could do that. And then there's the chin is a point. This will pass. So you can basically tailor the affirmations to what you want to say. So if you're emotionally dysregulated at this time, it might just be, I am safe in my body, I'm grounded, I'm regulated. And then the last one is your collarbones. So these are things that you could do at bedtime. You could do this while you're in the shower. You could kind of habit stack and use it at different points. But yeah, you could tailor the affirmation. So if you were trying to get rid of something, you can go through feeling the emotion and then rewiring to something else. Or you could do positive affirmations. I am capable, I'm kind, whatever works for you. I can get through this. I've got through this before. Tailor it to the situation and to what you want. And then after you've done a round of EFT tapping, you then go on to do pattern interruption. So there's 2 ways you can do pattern interruption. You can do it through visualization. So for that could be visualizing something like a holiday, your perfect holiday, and really getting into that memory, or visualizing what it would be to kind of have your perfect holiday, what it would feel like, the sun on your skin, you know, would you have a drink in your hand, where would you be sat, would you be on a sun lounger, how would it feel? Really get deep into that visualization. Or it can be, you know, your dream day at your job, whatever it is, but detail is important, lots and lots of detail, and kind of keep replaying that movie in your mind a few times. Or you could do a physical pattern interruption. So this could be jumping jacks, this could be running on the spot, this could be dancing for a minute. You can also do visualizations where you think of something kind of really funny, so like a penguin on roller skates or something like that. The more funny and ludicrous, the better. The whole intention of a pattern interruption is to take you out of that negative space that you've just been in, that you were trying to regulate, into something completely different, the quickest way to switch it. And then, after the pattern interruption, you can go back to that emotion, that memory, that moment when you were emotionally dysregulated, or that memory you're trying to tap into, and say to yourself with curiosity, how do I feel now? Does it still feel as intense? If so, if there's no change or it feels worse, then you might want to EFT tap again. But the idea is that after a few rounds of EFT tapping, it should start to feel a little bit lighter. And that usually means that you are starting to do some rewiring consciously and subconsciously. And it is a great tool that if you incorporate into your kind of routine, when you next become dysregulated, it will happen less and less frequently. So I'm starting to incorporate it into my routine, and I'm noticing that I am hitting that stage of regulation a lot more smoothly and a lot quicker than previously. And also the affirmations are kind of rewiring your brain to kind of feel better about yourself. So as a woman, I would particularly recommend doing affirmations around your body, your intelligence, your purpose, because a lot of the times we kind of feel a lot of external rejection from people as women, and we kind of perceive our bodies as our worth, and a lot of self-esteem issues are tied up into that as women. So I think doing body positive affirmations or whatever fits for you is also really effective. But yeah, I found it is quite an interesting practice. There is a lot of research about the effectiveness of it right now. So if you are curious, I would recommend doing a bit of research and reading some articles, because it does look a bit woo-woo. And I know some people think it will have no impact, but the studies have found it really has impacted people's emotional regulation and has helped them have better subconscious beliefs about themselves. And it's really accessible. You could do this in a hotel room, you could do this in the car. It's very quick. You could do the whole exercise within 5 minutes. So you can literally incorporate it into a daily routine if you wanted to. So I hope this video has helped.